Welcome to the first installment of the Best of 2025 series. I have been waiting so long to start filming these videos. The products have been pretty much locked in for around about 2 weeks. Some of them have gone on the list, gone off the list, gone off the list, gone on the list, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, this is going to be a long video. We are going to be kicking it off with the best luxury makeup releases of 2025. Grab yourself some of those chocolates or nibbles that you've been saving in the cupboard for guests. You know the ones. I know you know the ones. Grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of fizz, whichever is your tipple of choice, and let's get on with it. We're going to start off with eyeshadow because that's generally where I would start my makeup look if I'm applying a full beat of makeup. So we've got 6 products I want to talk about that are unbelievably good. Starting off with the one that I have on my eyes today, which is from Victoria Beckham. This is the eyeshadow wardrobe, and this is the shade Olive, which is, oh my goodness, how gorgeous is that palette. So I'm using every single one of these shades today. I have this one in my crease. I've then got this one right on that outer edge. This one I've used as a liner just to wing that out a little bit. And then this one all over the actual lid area just to add a bit of sparkle. These are soft, luxurious, smooth. They are glittery, but not overly glittery. It's not chunky glitter. It's very nice. These are magnetic, so they actually just pop out of the packaging. You have to buy the packaging separately, but you don't need to buy the packaging. If you've got somewhere safe to store these, you can just buy the brick insert itself. Love them. Love them. Love, love, love. I actually have another one of these, which I'm sort of kicking myself for buying. This, although it's got lots of fingerprints on it, never been used. Never. Yeah, I really should use this one because it cost an absolute fortune. I was manipulated into buying it with the photos on the website, and I just thought, oh, that's just absolutely stunning. But I've just got a feeling it's going to be too dark for me, with me being paler than pale. So yeah, I have it in my possession, never used it. And I bought the packaging, I mean, duh. Anyway, you know I'm a sucker for a green. These are from Makeup by Mario. This is the Ethereal Eyes Nature palette. So this is the 3.0 palette. I love the Ethereal Eyes collection. I bought last year's one. It was just divine. This one, no exception to the rule. You've got lots of glitters. These are more toppers than glitters. Some have slightly more base pigment to them. Others are just general toppers that are very elegant. Again, very luxurious. These mattes are creamy, very smoothing, quite airbrushing on the eyes actually. So if you do have quite a lot of wrinkles and crinkles on the eyelids, the mattes are definitely going to be up your street. I love the fact that this is universal. This is going to suit any skin tone at all, even those who are quite pale like me. So yeah, I've used every single shade in this palette, which for a 12 pan palette, unheard of. Definitely worth the money, definitely worth the investment. I absolutely love it, and the green is just it's divine. Talking about shadows that are creamy, smoothing and airbrushing, this NATASHA DENONA palette hits every single tick box on the planet. And I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I actually do. I didn't think it was going to be as heavily used as it actually is. But if you look at this, this has been dipped into so many times. Now, the reason I didn't think I was going to love this as much as I do, I thought this was going to be the makeup artist's dream palette because this has every single tone in here. So every single undertone is catered for. We've got that yellow undertone, the pink undertone, the red undertone, the cool undertone, the warm undertone, the neutral undertone, everything. But because of that, I thought, well, I'm only going to be able to use a few of these shadows. Only a few of them are going to suit me. What I didn't realize until I bought this was that you can dip, you can mix, you can create your own shades from this and really warm every shadow up, cool every shadow down, just make everything more neutral if you are a neutral undertone like me. So this is universal. Everyone will be able to use this, and there are so many tones in here, from really light tones to really deep tones. You can create any look under the sun. So this is the Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone Palette in the shade Soft. There is a darker version of this if you do have a deeper skin tone and you're not thinking you're going to use these lighter tones. Absolutely love it. It's also great to take away with you on holiday. If you don't like taking larger palettes like me, take it as your mirror as well as your eyeshadow. Absolutely love it. It's really well built, really well devised, and I just think this is a triumph that I wasn't expecting. If you're not one for large palettes and you don't need a mirror, but you really love the smoothness and the airbrushing capabilities of a matte shadow from Natasha Denona, this palette is all you're ever going to need. It's such a beautiful palette. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt palette. 5 pans in here, one for brow highlight or that inner corner highlight, one for a liner. The rest, I mean, you can just do as you please. It's just really handy to keep in your handbag if you don't have very much makeup on that day. Just take an eyeshadow brush and this palette if you're wanting to zhuzh your look up from morning to evening. This is a great handy little 5-pan eyeshadow that is glorious to use, really effortless to blend out. I just love it. I've got a feeling I'm gonna hit pan in this Charlotte Tilbury Beautifying Eye Trends Super Neutral palette pretty soon. This is very, very used, and I have dipped into other eyeshadow palettes as you've seen as the year has progressed, but this is the one that I tend to go back to the most often. Mostly because these are seriously pigmented, very smooth, very easy to blend, and this shade right up here is the perfect transition shade for my skin tone. Not only do you have those 6 mattes, which are very smoothing, very airbrushing, again, easy to apply, beginner friendly, super, super pigmented. You only need the tiniest dot. You've also got 3 sparkly shimmers, which are divine. So this doesn't have a white highlighting brow shade. It does have the sparkly one. Not my favorite. I do like that as an inner corner highlight, but this one I've used all over my lid when I just want to open up my eye and make my eye look a little bigger. This is the one that I use. Probably the one that I thought I would use the least in this entire palette, but actually the one I use the least is this grey one down here, which has hardly ever been used, but the rest of them, oh, you know these are going to feature in this video. I've worn these in so many previous videos this year. As soon as I got my hands on these in Boots, I have been in love with them. These are the Dazzle sticks from KVD Vegan Beauty. I adore them. I cannot see anything wrong with these at all. My favorite shade is Electro Bolt 20. The reason I love these so much, and the reason why I've picked up so many of the shades since first picking up this first one in Electro Bolt, well, let me just show you. This, look how glorious that is. It is creamy, it is smooth. You can use this as a topper. You can use this as an all-over lid shade, because the more you lay down, the more of the background pigment is going to show up on the eyelid. So if you only want to use this as a topper, you only pick up a tiny weeny bit on your finger and then just press that on your eyelid, and it is subtle, it is smooth, it is just beautiful. It is one of the only metallic, shimmery, creamy shades that I can get away with on my crinklier eyelids. This does not accentuate all my crinkles and wrinkles. In fact, I don't know how it does it, but I think it makes them look a little less obvious. I love it. I absolutely love these. I think they're beautiful. They've got like a little petrol-y sheen, so you pick up lots of different tones in there, from reddy tones to orangey tones to slightly lilac-y tones in there. Every single shade is different. It is beautiful. If you've not picked one up yet already, highly recommend that you do. I think I have 5 now. 5. Let's move on to the best foundation releases of 2025. Now, I think I've only got a couple here that really stood out to me. The first one that I tend not to wear in videos because this is more of my really quick apply favorite. This is from BAREMINERALS and it is the new version of the old BAREPRO. I'm not actually sure what they've done with this, to be quite honest, to change it from the old version of the BAREPRO. The only thing I can think of is that this is slightly more powdery in consistency than the really hard pressed powder of the original BAREPRO powder. Anyway, you will see, I love it. I love it. This is my football makeup. If I want to look a little bit fresher, this is the foundation that I reach for. I also go to Meadowhall shopping in this a lot. If I'm in a rush in the morning, this is what I reach for. I use it with my BK Beauty 106 brush, just, you know, swirl around in it and go straight into the face. It's great coverage. This is going to give you a medium coverage straight away. It can be built up to more of a full coverage, but if I build this up to a full coverage, it tends to go a little bit cakey between my brows and around my nose area where my glasses sit. So I tend to just leave it one swipe, medium coverage. It covers a multitude of sins. It's also very smoothing, very airbrushing. My natural oils come through this and make it a little bit shinier than maybe the old version, but I really like that. It doesn't stay flat matte all day, and I think the original was a little flatter than this. So this has more life to it. I think, again, it is an absolute triumph for BAREMINERALS, and I mean, me hitting pan says it all. I very rarely hit pan. I very rarely go through a product, so I have to buy another one because I'm always testing out other products, but this is one that I go back to all the time. It's very, very quick to apply and yeah, it looks gorgeous. My top pick foundation if you want to look flawless, like having no pigmentation left on your face is like porcelain, is the Benefit the Porefessional foundation. This is probably the product that I am most shocked about featuring in this video. I was more convinced this was going to feature in my worst products of 2025. Actually, it sat in my favorite luxury products of 2025, so, you know, go figure. Anyway, I didn't think I was going to like this because Benefit tends to target the sort of teen, early 20s market. My skin is definitely not at that level. I am 46. Am I 46? I'm 46. 46. So yeah, we're not quite there. Not anymore. Anyway, this is so easy to apply. I highly recommend if you are going to give this a go, you get yourself a sponge to apply this with. Dampen the sponge, not a dry sponge, and apply this with a sponge, because if you apply this with a brush, you can apply way too much because it is seriously pigmented. It's going to give you medium to full coverage, smooths, airbrushes, plumps. It just looks phenomenal. Very, very flattering on my 46-year-old skin. And I love it. I love everything about it. The thickness of this product is why I would apply this with a sponge, because if you do apply it with a brush, again, you can apply way too much. And it doesn't really matter for coverage, but for cakiness, this will come to bite you in the bum about 8 hours after you first applied it, and especially around that glasses area, in between my brows, on the tip of my chin, this can look a little heavy and a little bit shiny and a little bit cakey, by the end of the day if I apply too much. But the wonder of this product is once you have really got down the application with the damp sponge, and sometimes I apply this with rather wet sponge, it is perfection. No need to worry. This is lasting from morning to night. If I have a wedding to go to and I want my skin to look perfection all day, this is the one that I would pick. It is just lovely, really, really beautiful, and well done to Benefit for creating something that isn't just for 20-year-olds. I like it. I mean, I really like it. The last foundation I want to talk about in this video is one that has the nations split, but it is the one that I have on my skin today, the one that I think looks the most natural out of all three of these put together, although the Bare Minerals does look very, very natural on me, but this one for me is just such a great foundation. It's multi-purpose. So you can sheer this out and have it quite a light coverage if you're wanting that no makeup look. You can also build this up to more medium to full coverage. I would say straight away you're going to get medium coverage out of this, and it gives you that natural skin glow. It is definitely not flat, it is definitely not matte, but I find it quite smoothing and airbrushing on my skin, even though you can see it gives you a subtle glow. Now that is what some people don't like. So if you are quite crinkly on the skin, if you have quite a lot of texture, which I've always thought that I do have quite a lot of texture, especially on my cheek area. A lot of people say that this emphasizes that texture and they really can't get on with it. That is not the case for me. So I can only go on my experience. What I would say is if you haven't tried this already and what I am saying to you is enticing you to go and try this, definitely get a sample and try before you buy, because again, the camp is very, very split. And a lot of people over the age of 40, 50 are saying that they don't like this. I love it. I wear it all the time. I just think it is beautiful on my skin. It's not super airbrushing, but it is a beautiful, beautiful, really nice, elegant, but gives that coverage foundation. Really like it. Concealers. Let's move on to concealers. You all know which is the first concealer that's going to pop up in this video because I've spoken about it so many times and I've done so many videos about this one concealer and how to apply it properly so that you get the best effects from it. I actually have 3 shades of these because I couldn't make my mind up which one I wanted to use, and we've been through summer and we're going into winter, so I have several shades of the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place concealer. For me, hands down, just a superb concealer. Great coverage, great pigmentation. It just cancels out everything I want to cancel out. Now, I actually have both of these shades on today. So I've got 2N and 2C. Bit strange of a combination, you may say, but I do think the shade range is a little bit hit and miss here. I would definitely go into store. I wouldn't trust the website, going onto the website and picking your shade off that. I would go into store and swatch some of these and have one of the reps apply some maybe underneath your eyes or on your jawline, just so that you can get the best match for you. My favorite brush of choice for this particular concealer is the N16 Nikki LaRose from BK Beauty, because it's really, really feathered on the end and you can get the tiniest amount of product and with a very light hand just feather that in place. I only apply this where I need it. I do not apply it all the way up to the lash line. This doesn't crease, this doesn't smudge, this doesn't go cakey on me throughout the day, but it seriously lasts all day. Next up in the best luxury concealer releases of 2025, I didn't think that this next product was going to make it into this video when I first tried it. However, the amount of times I have reached for this and how amazing this actually is at cancelling out all those little blemishes you just want to cover that maybe a light coverage foundation won't cover for you. I absolutely adore this product. Now let's go into the negatives first. Okay, so the negatives. One, the price of this per gram that you get, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. However, in Lisa Eldridge's defense, this does last an incredibly long amount of time. Seriously long amount of time. So, you know, it will have also cost a lot to make, to devise, to research. So, you know, I'm not going to hold that against her to the nth degree, although I do still think it is pricey. The other negative for me is that the gold writing that was on here is no longer on here because I've used this so much. So if I forget what shade I've used, in fact, if I forget what this particular product is called, I might not be able to find it again because there is no evidence on here of what shade I use and what the product is actually called. I do know this is called the Lisa Eldridge Pinpoint Concealer, and I think I've got shade 4 and shade 5. I definitely have shade 5, but I don't know which one it is. So these are fantastic for so many different reasons. Number one, you don't need to sharpen these. You just twist the end and the product is released. It is quite a hard, waxy product. So all you need to do is find a blemish, go round the blemish a little bit with the concealer with a very light hand. You need very, very little of this. Wait for it to dry down a little, then smudge it out with your finger. Wait for it to dry down again, which takes maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And then this will not budge all day. If you don't have problematic skin, if you don't have any pigmentation, if you don't have any blemishes, you have no need for these. Do not buy them. You will be disappointed. But if you do sometimes wake up in the morning and go, oh, you know, I just want to cover that little bit over, these are perfection. Absolutely amazing. Wouldn't be without them now. Love them to bits. And thank you very much, Lisa, for coming out with this in the first place. I know she got quite a bit of backlash at the time for the price of these, but, you know, I really like them. #1 fan. Let's move on to mascaras. There are 3 I want to mention in this category that I think are absolutely superb for differing reasons. So the first one I want to talk about is the Elevated Max Stack Mascara. I love this. I've actually got this on my lashes today. It is so easy to apply, and for me it doesn't smudge, which is a turn up for the books really, because I thought this would do. I love the wand. It's a little curved so you get that lift. They feel soft and beautiful, but they've still got that curl and the added volume. Now, does this give as much volume as the Max Stack Mascara? No, it doesn't. But with the element of lift that this gives, as well as the element of volume that this gives in abundance, has to be in this video. I mean, just look at my lashes. My lashes look like they've had steroids sprinkled on them. Can you sprinkle steroids on something? It dries down really quickly as well, which is another reason I really like this, and also another reason this probably does hold a curl, because it is quite quick drying rather than that heaviness of a wet mascara, which tends to make your lashes droop over time. This doesn't have that. It is quite quick to dry, and yeah, I love it. It's very easy to remove as well, even though it doesn't smudge, it doesn't bleed on me. Just love it. It's such a good mascara. If you haven't tried it already and you love the Max Stack Mascara, definitely give this one a go. One for bottom lashes now, and this is the only way that I use this mascara, but I love it. I swear by it, and it had to feature in this video. This is from Prada. Now, I have used this in my upper lashes as well if I'm wanting a very, very natural look, very little volume, just some colour on the lashes, maybe a little bit of length, maybe the teeny tiniest bit of volume, but primarily I use this for my lower lashes because it is so easy to use, and I never get smudges, get little bits, little polka dots on the tops of my cheekbones. It's just superb. This is the reason this mascara is so good. Not only is the quality of the formula fantastic, this wand is superb. And you can just pat this on the lashes. So if you only need the tiniest bit on those lower lashes, which I have today. In fact, I've gone a little overboard today. I've put 2 coats on, but if you only want the tiniest bit, you don't need to scoop and swift. All you need to do is dab on, dab. And because it's like a floor brush, it does that for you so easily, but it's also amazing for those upper lashes, again, if you want that more natural look and you have quite short lashes, quite stubby lashes, or quite straight lashes. You want them to have a little bit of a curl, but you don't want to get lots all over the tops of your eyelids and everything. So if you find mascara application quite problematic, I would definitely recommend this mascara to you, because without it having that really bushy wand, it's incredibly easy to dispense onto the lashes. No clumpiness, it just accentuates every single lash, which is why I like it for the bottom lashes. Wouldn't be without this now. It is a superb mascara. Again, easy to remove, but doesn't smudge. The Vive Icon Mascara. This is one of the best mascaras I have ever tried in my entire life. This mascara is unreal. The quality, the texture of the mascara, the wetness, the creaminess, and how this holds a curl, even though it's not waterproof. Mind blown. Also, love the wand. Usually I wouldn't be this sort of wand type of gal. I like more of a plasticky wand, more of a synthetic rubber wand, maybe? That sounds a bit weird. Yes. Anyway, this is more of a bushy, bristly brush, which I usually wouldn't go for, but boy, does it work. This is just stunning. It grabs every single lash, and the volume, oh my goodness. With the first lick, you get volume. Please do not judge this mascara on day one when it is fresh and new. Give it 3 days. Let the formula thicken a little bit to get that va-va-va-voom volume. Everyone can see your lashes from 3 miles away, and you do not need to have lash extensions anymore to give volume. This is all you need. Unreal. Absolutely fantastic. Bronzers. Let's move on to bronzers. The best luxury bronzer releases of 2025. Firstly, let's do cream bronzers, because I'm in love with these. These are from Westman Atelier. Yes, they cost a pretty penny. They are luxury products, and they are magnetic as well, so the top's not going to come off all the time when you take this away with you, when it's in your handbag, so I love that about it. Now, my favourite shade of this is Biscuit. However, for the summer, I also have Truffle, and I tend to mix these two together. Biscuit is more of a contour shade for me. Truffle is more of a bronzing shade for me. These are just so beautiful to apply. They are the right sort of creaminess. They're not too wet. They're also not too dry, so they are very easy to blend out. And even though they are flat, good to get that crisp edge on the nose. If you do want to do some nose contour, you just hold it on one side, but if you are wanting to contour a larger area, you can just use it flat or apply it on the back of your hand and go straight in with the brush rather than getting these straight on the face. I love them. I think they are creamy, smooth. They give you that subtle glow without being sparkly. They just give you a little bit of, not really radiance, but a tiny bit of dewiness to the skin, but it's minute. If you are in the market for a new cream bronzer, then highly recommend. I think they're lovely. Powder bronzers. There is no competition when it comes to a powder bronzer. This one, for me, it was released, I think, in January, February of 2025, which you can definitely tell. I mean, this is heavily used. I've taken this everywhere with me. I've taken it on holiday, I've taken it in my handbag. It's really quite disgusting. This is rather embarrassing for me right at this very moment. Please don't judge. So yes, gorgeous, really beautiful. You can't see any of the indentations that were on there now because they've all been rubbed off with my brush. The reason I love this bronzer so much, this is the Dior Forever Nude bronzer, and I have this in several shades. Number one, it comes in different finishes. So you can get one in more of a radiant finish, you can get one in a matte finish. My preference is the matte finish. I really think it's beautiful. Number two, the shades are stunning, and a very wide variety of shades there is to pick from on the website. So those for really pale fair skin, those for really deep skins, you're going to get something that you like. Three, you can over apply this and it's not going to look scary. So I can apply this to wet foundation and it still blends out superbly well, even though this is a powder. This feels like it goes on like a cream and ends up like powder. You cannot see any powdery residue on the skin once this is applied. It's like it melts into the skin. I would recommend this until the end of time. I think it is beautiful. And for me, nothing has come out in 2025 after this one that has bettered it. So that's why we're going to leave bronzers and move on to something else. Let's move on to blush. Now, this is usually the longest section because I buy every single new blush that's out on the market because I just love blush so much. And now I've got a bit of a fringe and my hair's slightly darker, I do feel like I need a little bit more blush to just lift everything up a little bit. So blush is very, very heavily used in my household, just by me. It's actually quite a short section this year. So let's do powder blushes. The YSL Make Me Blush powder, I really, really like. This is in the shade 37, I think. Really love this. It's the right amount of creaminess to powderiness, and it doesn't look like powder on the skin. It is incredibly pigmented, so a very light hand is necessary. These do remind me a little bit of the Gucci blushes, but the Gucci blushes are slightly more on the powdery side. Again, these do melt into the skin, but they're not as wet and creamy as the YSL blushes. These are not cream blushes. It's just the quality, the texture of these, so velvety smooth, they feel a little damp. And that makes no sense whatsoever. I hope you can understand what I'm actually trying to say, but these, oh, they feel a little furry. It's really quite inviting and comforting, putting your finger in here and you can see the pigment straight away. Now, obviously I did, you know, put my finger around in that quite a bit. The way that they look on the skin, very fresh, but still quite matte. So not flat. It's got a little life to it, but not sparkly, not dewy, just, it's like it caresses the cheeks and gives them a huge hug. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, next up. This was not even on my radar. This is from What's Up Beauty. This I received in PR, and I received a lot of different shades in PR as well, and they were sat in a box for the longest time before I actually tried them. And I was blown away when I tried them. What stopped me from trying them in the first place is, you know, the packaging. Really not a fan. Really, I've not been scared of sharing my opinion of this packaging. I think it looks like some sort of fridge magnet you'd get from Benidorm. Should I say that? I mean, Benidorm has its place for a great holiday. No judgment. But yeah, it looks a little bit not on the high-end side. I'm gonna say it that way. But the product inside, this baked blush with several different tones in it, gives you such a lifted cheek look. It is glorious, absolutely glorious. This is going to give you a tad of radiance, but no sparkle. So you are going to get that lovely projected cheekbone. This acts as a highlighter as well as a blush, without the sparkle. The shades of this, the terracotta tones as well as the pinky tones, it's just the right level of warmth without it being orange. I adore it. The most perfect summery blush. This is the shade 40 Gentle Genova. Love it. This is the baked and pressed powder blush from What's Up Beauty, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Right, finishing off the blush category, and I've just picked Seth up from college, so excuse the glasses. Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury did an amazing launch earlier on this year. This is the Unreal Blush Healthy Glow Stick, and I've got the shade Peachy Glow as well as some other shades that are in the wardrobe over there. This is smooth, it is creamy, it is really easy to blend out, and you can apply this in numerous different ways. 1, straight to the cheek, blend it out with your fingers. 2, straight onto a brush and apply it straight to the skin, stippling it and blending it out like that. 3, on the back of your hand, then apply to a brush once it's warm. Do it like that. So I'm going to apply a little bit more of this because I just feel like I need a bit of a pick-me-up. I don't know why, because this lasts a really, really long amount of time, so you don't actually need to reapply once this is on. It's very, very long lasting, but just for the purposes of this video, let's go a little deeper on the blush. So this is going to give you radiance, and it's going to give you radiance in abundance. If you don't like that radiant cheek look, you are not going to like this. But I tend to wear this, and I wear it a lot when I have more of a matte, long wearing foundation on, because this gives me life. It gives a glow, a bit of a lit from within look to my makeup, and makes what could be a very flat mattifying foundation a bit more of a natural glow. So you still get that mattifying airbrushing effect with a little bit of the natural coming through. Now, not glittery. As far as I'm concerned, not glittery, but definitely radiant, and it just blends out like an absolute dream. Fingers, brush, sponge, whatever, you name it. I absolutely love it. Some people say it accentuates texture. For me, quite the opposite. I mean, I think that's really blurring and smoothing, and yet gives me that radiance that I crave. For me, it is one of the best luxury products that has been released in 2025, and it's going to last me such a long time. I use this pretty much every single day since it's been released, and if you can see there, there's hardly any gone. Moving on to the best luxury lip releases of 2025. I don't have this first one to share with you because I don't know where it is. In fact, I don't know where they are. I bought multiple of these so I could have them in multiple different places. I've got a feeling that these are in my travel bags somewhere. I know my mum has one of them. These are another release from Charlotte Tilbury, another genius release from Charlotte Tilbury. These are the lip contour duos, and I love these. I used to wear these all the time. In fact, if I was still wearing a lip pencil, this would be the one that I would go to. So this is for all the lip pencil fans. You can wear these all over your lips. You can just have them bordering the lip, really lining the outline of the lip. Or you can use both of them on the outline to create a more contoured look to make your lips look juicier, bouncier, and fuller. These are fantastic products. Now, the original pencils from Charlotte Tilbury, I have a love-hate relationship with. So when they are new, I absolutely love them. They glide on superbly well. They're not waxy, they don't drag, they don't go patchy. But when they're slightly older, they go a little waxier, and they do start to drag, and they do start to clump, and you do get darker areas on the lips than others, and so I tend not to use them a lot. The lip contour duos from Charlotte Tilbury are smooth, creamy, soft, but then stick. They really do stick down. Not in the point where you're never going to have to reapply these throughout the day. You are going to have to reapply them if you're eating, drinking. They are going to rub off a little bit, but they do stick around for a tremendously long amount of time, and they're very easy to blend. You can smudge them in. I love applying these all over the lip, and then the darker shade just around the body of the lip to create a bit more definition. My favourite is the shade medium. My mum is in the shade fair. So definitely worth checking these out at your local Charlotte Tilbury counter if you haven't seen them already. Love, love, love. Now the reason why I'm not using my Charlotte Tilbury lip contour duos anymore is because these were released sort of mid-2025, and I have them in so many different shades now because they are superb. So this isn't a lip pencil, this is a lip pen. It's from Huda Beauty and it is called the Lip Contour Stain. Once again, you can use these all over the lip if you want to, or you can just line the lip to create a bit of definition. They're like a felt tip pen. You do have to be careful because there are drawbacks to this product, but the drawback for me is not big enough to warrant not using this and not buying several more. So you do have to keep these upside down, otherwise the tip will dry out, and it will dry out very, very quickly. So do not store these laid down. Always store them standing up, and I tend to store mine in one of these, and I have so many different shades to choose from. I mean, they just keep on coming, more, and I also have a spare that isn't open just for if one of these runs out on me. I do have two of the same shade, and that third one, which is yet unopened, is another one of this shade, which is called Soft Nude. This is my favorite. However, I have two of these open because when one dries out, and it will wetten again once tilted upside down, but when one dries out, I just reach for the other one and use the other one. It's very difficult to take these away with you in your handbag unless you have them upside down. That is a major drawback for me. So just be warned. But the reason I love these so much is, like a felt tip, doesn't drag, doesn't smudge, doesn't gather, it doesn't go patchy. Once it's on, you have a little bit of playtime to blend it out so it's not a harsh line, and then it sticks. And once it's stuck, it is going nowhere. This is the best product for overlining your lips. If you have really small lips like mine and you just like to overline slightly just to make the body of the lip look a little bit plumper, a little bit bigger, juicier, these are the product to do it with. Best lip liner product I think I've ever used, hands down, even though there are negatives and a few of them. Best luxury lipstick releases. I've tried so many lipsticks this year, and a bit like the foundation category, there are very few that have stood out to me to be on a different level to the rest. Some of them, they're perfectly nice, you know, they're really, really nice, but they don't grab me to the point that this next product really grabs me. This is from Prada, and it is the Glowing Lip Colour, and it's in the shade Light. You can tell how much I love this product with how it's shaped. I mean, look, it's sort of melted into my lip shape now, and I take this pretty much everywhere with me. I love the colour. I also have the pinky colour as well, but yeah, this is just, it's just divine. It is the right amount of warmth with a hint of pink to it. It is really nice, really neutral, and the feel of this is second to none. This feels So hydrating, so nourishing without feeling sticky like a balm would do. It's just so soft, and every time my lips feel a little bit dry, usually lipsticks will make that dryness worse, even if it's a balmy lipstick. At the end of the day, my lips feel worse than they did when I applied the lipstick. Not with this one. With this one, it's so nourishing and conditioning for the lips, and I don't have a bad word to say about it. It is glorious. Lip glosses, huge fan of a lip gloss. The first one I want to mention in this video, I'm not quite sure if this is still available because this is one of the Afterglow products from NARS. This is the Afterglow lip oil, and this one is in the shade High Life 508. This does not feel like any gloss I have ever had on my lips. This is buttery soft. It's velvety smooth. I just... Does this actually taste of anything? No, I don't think it does. This gives you that glow without your lips looking jammy. It doesn't look over applied even when you over apply it, if you get my meaning. So yeah, it just gives you that oily slip without the feeling of oiliness. This is going to be one of those videos that makes no sense whatsoever. It's a creamy, smooth oil rather than an oil that's going to bleed and make your lips feel greasy. It doesn't have a greasy feel to this at all. It's just very hydrating and a very nourishing feel. And yeah, so many shades to choose from. Love, love. This next product I actually bought 2 of. It was completely unnecessary, and the scream, the wail that came out of my mouth when I dropped this was, I think everybody in Barnsley heard it. I went out with the girls, had a little bit too much to drink, was reapplying my lip gloss with the Charlotte Tilbury Big Lip Plumpgasm. What shade is this? This is Nude-gasm Diamonds, and dropped the applicator, and it landed in lots of cigarette ash that some dirty person had left on the street. So there was no cleaning it. There was just no way. I mean, it was covered in just nastiness. So I had to buy another one. This is the new one. I threw away the old one. There was a little bit of a mishap there when I thought I didn't know which one was which, but anyway, we found out. This is lovely. It's sparkly without it being overly glittery on the lips. You don't notice the glitter until you're a little bit further away, so it does make your lips look really plump. However, this isn't going to feature in here, even though it has already featured in here because I've spoken about it already, because it does go a little bit gloopy. And I'm not quite sure how it goes a little bit gloopy. It's one of those glosses that gathers in areas and then you get that stringiness from one lip to the other. Maybe I'm over applying it, but I then tried the Vive Lip Dew Glossy Lip Oil in the shade Original, which, as you will see, very, very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury product. This one doesn't give you that plumping feel. It doesn't have a minty fragrance. It doesn't give you that tingling effect on the lip like the Charlotte Tilbury one does, but overall the effect is the same. So really love this. It's not as fragranced as the Charlotte Tilbury, however, I really like it, and it gives you that effect of plumpness and juiciness, that glossiness with a little bit of sparkle. I don't think you can go wrong with Vive products in general, to be honest. Vive is a brand that I have been trying more of in 2025, not just their brand new releases, but some of their ride or die releases from way back when, and I am loving things that they are producing and have brought out in the past. So this is definitely worth its weight in this video. So that's it for this video. It took an age to film. Obviously I had to have a little bit of a break in the middle, but thank you very much for sticking with this till the end. I know it's been lengthy, but they are all of what I believe are the best luxury makeup product releases of 2025. I absolutely adore all of these products, and I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. There have been lots of nice product releases in the luxury category over the last year, but none sparkling enough, nothing that has grabbed my attention enough to mention. I say that now. Maybe I've forgotten something. I don't know. If you feel like I've forgotten something, please add it in the comments section. Also add your standout luxury product releases of 2025 in there as well, so everybody knows all of your opinions. And if I haven't tried some of those products, maybe I will try and get my hands on them in 2026 and give them a whirl for myself. Thank you very much for sticking around all the way to the end. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. There's lots more to come in this series, so definitely stick around. Make sure you have liked, subscribed, shared this video, clicked on that notification bell so you don't miss any more in the series, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.